My name is Daniel Matthias. I'm here in Manipur, which is a tiny state in the northeastern corner of India. Behind me is the Loktak Lake. Manipur is a beautiful state with pristine lakes, lush green fields, and tall mountains. The state borders Myanmar and has a population of about 3.5 million people. Over the last few years, I've noticed many people from the northeast migrate to Bangalore to study and work. I recently asked my hairdresser where he was from. He told me that he was from Manipur and had to move to Bangalore because his village had been burnt down due to a conflict between two tribes. I decided to come here for myself to learn about the history and culture of this state. During my stay here, I got to meet with people from all four major groups: the Nagas, the Kukis, the Pangals, and the Meiteis. I saw many scenes of destruction, such as these, and many memorials for those who had tragically died during this conflict. I was also stopped at many army and police checkpoints across the state. I visited relief camps for both the Meitei and the Kuki people, where they were just trying to survive from day to day after having lost everything they owned. The families live in very cramped conditions with only a hanging sheet to protect their privacy.
Here they make this partition during the night. One family stay, other family, and when during the night they used to take out this partition so that nobody can see each other. There are around 15 family members staying.
They find ways to make a meager income for themselves.
They usually shelter to them, and then that's how they got it.
I wanted to understand a bit about the causes of the conflict and what can be done to solve it.
The causes, there are many. It's many months and decades of grievances might be there.
Manipur is a small state. It's a mountainous state, and then a diverse community lives together. The larger or the areas of the hills are occupied by the tribal people. I think there are more than 20, maybe 30, around 30 tribes living in the hills districts of Manipur, and then especially the valleys are occupied by the Meiteis, and then some of the tribal also settled there as a village since from the beginning.
So when you talk about a culture, it's not a single culture. There is the majority community, which is the Meiteis, which live in the plains of Manipur, and the hills are inhabited by all the different tribes. And each of them have their own unique culture, their own language, their own way of life. Okay? So from that perspective, Manipur is extremely rich in its culture, in its diversity, in its natural beauty.
The Meitei have their own distinct culture, and then the Nagas in the tribals in the hills they have a different, very distinct culture, and then also the Kukis, and then some few more tribes. They also have a distinct culture, and we live in diversity, and that is how we live together. The way we eat, the way we work, everything, the language, everything is different.
I would emphatically say that religion has not been a major cause of this conflict. The cause of this conflict is more about land, about resources, and about identity.
At the time of independence and the merger of Manipur into Indian Union, land was little, big, population was small. Now, after 40, 50, 60 years, population has surged and land is limited.
So on both sides of the conflict, people have their genuine issues and problems. So let me start with the Meiteis. The Meiteis are 53% of the population, yet they are restricted to just 10% of the land. And this is not something that has happened in recent years. This has been something from the colonial times. In fact, the British put something known as the inner line permit to prevent the people from the plains going up into the hills. So from the Meiteis perspective, they feel that in their state itself, they do not have the freedom to go up in the hills which is actually the case, and own land over there and start businesses over there. Whereas people from the hills, and for that matter for the rest of India, can come over here to Manipur and settle down in the plains. So their already small land of 10% is further narrowed by people from everywhere coming in. And the Meiteis perceive that a lot of the land has been usurped by the tribal population, especially by the Kukis, who they feel have come in from Myanmar and have taken up large tracts of the land.
So, if I am not mistaken, according to the information that we get from our grandparents, they said that we have been here living in this place, and it had we have been the 5th generation, so probably maybe we have been here for the past 500 years.
And when you look at the tribal people, they come occupy a large portion of the hills. I'm talking from their perspective. They feel that while they may hold 90% of the land, a lot of it is not cultivable. It is steep slopes and rocky places and places which they cannot cultivate. And they also feel that they do not get enough resources in terms of the hospitals, the healthcare, the airport, and things like that. That is one of their issues.
It was clear to me that this tension had been going on between the Meiteis and Kukis for many decades. The immediate cause of the escalation of the conflict was due to the recommendation by the Manipur High Court that the Meiteis be given tribal status. Tribal status is a form of affirmative action intended to protect the community and restrict other people from taking over their land. The Kukis have had tribal status since India's independence. However, when the Meiteis were awarded tribal status, the Kukis felt threatened that their land might be taken over by the Meiteis. Whether their fear was justified or not, I cannot say. On May 3, 2023, the Kuki students conducted a peaceful protest march. This unfortunately escalated into a violent conflict which continues to this day.
All the houses were destroyed by those tribal peoples, destroyed the mainland people's house properties, and even the mainland peoples destroyed the tribal's land properties. We are doing like this in that at one go. We don't have any second thought at that time. Then the conflicts become worse and worse, and it leads to this phase.
We should not let, at the first place, we should not let the conflict to get elongated to this extent. It could have been stopped before it have reached this far.
Conflict has caused a massive displacement of people across the state. The Kuki and the Meitei people now cannot live together in the same areas. In fact, the army checkpoints that I encountered were set up to ensure that the two tribes don't cross over into each other's areas.
So we had to come here through buffer zones, right? And it was not very normal, like having checkposts there, asking to stop in the same city, like in the same state. We had to do this, like two parts of different cultures.
For instance, before the conflict, many of our people, they settled in Imphal, and then many of the Manipuris, the Meitei people, they also settled in our area. So now there has been like movement of people from one places to another, and then we are not sure that we may ever step back to Imphal.
There was the smallest girl here, this class 3. She came up to me, she gave me a tight hug, and then all she was asking me, "Miss, is your family safe? Miss, is everybody there? Is your home still there?"
Everyone I talked to said they just wanted to live in peace and harmony and express a sincere desire for all the parties to work out a solution to this unfortunate situation.
It's my wish that this situation is resolved, and if there is no relief centers, and those inmates, if they can go and if they can stay in their own place, or if they can earn their livelihood, then that is my wish.
I am sure that it will take time. It will take time, and then it may require a lot of talk. And then we don't say that all the Kukis were bad or all the Meiteis were bad. You know, among the Meitei itself, there are lots of people who are right thinking. And then the same goes for the Kuki community as well.
You have people who know each other from both communities, for instance, former colleagues in the teaching line, journalists, get them to meet or arrange meeting places for them, and then the goodwill that they share and create can spread slowly. You don't do it in a big way that this is going to settle Manipur problem, that somebody or the other will object. But you do it in a small way and stitch the corners, and then slowly you build up the momentum. Now maybe the atmosphere will be good enough for a bigger kind of settlement talks to happen. And I think these small talks are happening already in many quarters.
So during the conflict, many people have been displaced. Internally displaced people are said to be anything between 60 to 80,000 people have been displaced, means they cannot go back to their homes, their villages, their schools or whatever. So there's a lot that people can be doing, especially for the youth of Manipur, by giving them opportunities to come and study here, sponsoring their education, and also giving them job opportunities. The danger is that if they're not given these opportunities, they are prone to radicalization. Just to survive, they may join militant groups and cause more problems. So that is something that on a very urgent basis, people from the rest of the country need to know.
So is there an easy solution to this conflict? I don't know, but I certainly hope that these wonderful people find peace and their lives can return to normal soon.